Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something simple yet powerful. Getting up and making it happen. Because let's be honest, nobody's coming to do it for you. Nobody's going to wake up at 5 a.m. on your behalf. Nobody's going to push through the struggles for you. That's your job. That's your responsibility. You see, life doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to action. The moment you decide to stand up and take responsibility for where you are and where you're going, that's the moment your life begins to change. Now, you might be saying, but I don't have the right circumstances, or I wasn't given the right opportunities. Listen, success doesn't come from what you were given. It comes from what you do with what you have. You've got to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan. Perfection is the enemy of progress. You don't need a degree to get started. You don't need permission. What you need is a decision to get up and make it happen. Success isn't about luck, it's about preparation meeting opportunity. And opportunities, they don't knock on the doors of those who sit and wait. They knock for those who are already in motion. If you want change, start today. If you want progress, take the first step now. Get up, move forward, take control of your habits, your time, your mind, and your effort. The world rewards those who take action. And remember, if you don't go after what you want, you'll spend your life working for someone who did. So let me ask you, are you ready to get up and make it happen? You see, life has a way of separating those who wish from those who work. Many people sit around hoping for a better future, dreaming of success, waiting for the right opportunity to come knocking. But life doesn't operate on hope alone. It responds to effort. It rewards the ones who are willing to roll up their sleeves, put in the hours, and do what must be done, even when they don't feel like it. You can wish for a great career, but if you don't develop the skills, the opportunities will pass you by. You can dream of financial independence, but if you're not disciplined with your money, you'll always be struggling. You can want better relationships, but if you don't invest time, effort, and patience into them, they won't grow. Wishing and wanting are easy. Everyone does that, but few are willing to do the hard, consistent work required to turn those wishes into reality. It's not about what's fair or unfair. It's not about what's easy or difficult. The truth is, life pays you according to the value you bring and the work you put in. You don't get results because you simply desire them. You get them because you've earned them. The farmer doesn't reap a harvest because he wants one. He reaps it because he prepared the soil, planted the seeds, watered the crops, and put in the work day after day. Success in any area of life follows the same principle. If you want more, you must become more. If you desire a different outcome, you must change your approach. Life isn't in the business of handing out rewards for wishful thinking. But if you show up, put in the effort, and keep going, even when it gets tough, life has a way of rewarding you beyond what you ever imagined. The direction of your life isn't determined by one big event or a single lucky break. It's shaped by the small, consistent decisions you make every single day. The little things you do or don't do add up over time, leading you either toward success or away from it. Every morning you have a choice. You can hit the snooze button and delay your progress, or you can rise early and set the tone for a productive day. You can choose to invest in yourself, read, learn, grow, or you can waste time on distractions that add no real value to your life. You can decide to take action on your goals, even in small ways, or you can put them off telling yourself, you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow has a way of turning into next week, next month, or even never. It's easy to overlook these small decisions because they don't seem to matter much in the moment. Eating one unhealthy meal won't ruin your health. Skipping one workout won't make you weak. Procrastinating for a day won't destroy your dreams. But do these things consistently, and over time, they shape your future in ways you never intended. On the other hand, making the right decisions daily, reading for 30 minutes, exercising regularly, managing your money wisely, working on your craft, doesn't bring instant results, but over time it builds momentum. The compounding effect of good decisions will take you further than you ever imagined. So if you ever wonder where your life is headed, just look at your daily habits. Because your future isn't built in a day, it's built every day through the choices you make, the actions you take, and the disciplines you maintain. It's easy to find a reason why something can't be done. There's always an excuse available: too tired, too busy, not the right time, don't have the resources, don't have the right connections. But here's the truth. Excuses don't build dreams, they don't create wealth, and they certainly don't change lives. If excuses had value, everyone making them would be rich. But they don't. Only action does. Look around at those who have achieved something great. They didn't get there by explaining why it couldn't be done. They found a way. They worked with what they had. They got up early, stayed up late, learned new skills, took risks, and kept going when others quit. Because that's what it takes. Every moment spent making an excuse is a moment that could have been spent working toward a solution. It's not about having perfect conditions. No one starts with everything in place. The people who succeed aren't necessarily the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to let excuses dictate their future. Now, you can choose to focus on the obstacles, or you can focus on finding a way forward. You can convince yourself why you can't, or you can prove to yourself why you can. But you can't do both. So if you want to build something great, you have to let go of excuses. Replace them with effort. Replace them with discipline. Replace them with persistence. Because while excuses will keep you where you are, action is the only thing that will take you where you want to be. You can have the best ideas in the world, the greatest plans, and the most inspiring dreams, but without action, none of it matters. Success isn't about what you know, it's about what you do with what you know. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect time, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until the fear disappears. But waiting never built anything worthwhile. The people who succeed aren't the ones who waited for conditions to be just right. They're the ones who started before they were ready. They took the first step, even when they weren't sure what the second step would be. Action creates momentum. The moment you take a step, the next step becomes clearer. When you move, you learn. When you try, you grow. Every great success story started with someone making a decision and taking action. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't always easy, but they did something, and that made all the difference. On the other hand, inaction leads to regret. 5 years from now, you won't look back and wish you had hesitated longer. You won't be proud of the time you spent overthinking, doubting, or delaying. You'll either be grateful you took action, or you'll wish you had. So if you want something, go after it. Start today, even if it's a small step. Make the call, write the plan, take the risk. Because nothing changes until you do something. The secret to success isn't found in theory, in books, or in waiting for the right moment. The secret is, and always will be, action. It's one thing to have a dream, it's another thing to make it real. The space between where you are and where you want to be isn't filled with hope, luck, or even talent. It's built with discipline. Discipline is what separates those who achieve from those who merely wish. It's what gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's what keeps you working when the excitement fades. It's what pushes you forward when the results aren't coming as fast as you want. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to do what's required consistently. It's not about working hard once in a while. It's about showing up every day whether you feel like it or not. Success isn't a single event. It's the result of daily habits, daily choices, and daily sacrifices. The person who commits to discipline wins not because they never fail, but because they refuse to stop. While others make excuses, they make progress. While others look for shortcuts, they keep putting in the work. They understand that effort, repeated over time, leads to mastery. You can have the greatest ambition in the world, but without discipline, it remains just that, ambition. A dream without discipline is just a wish, but a dream backed by discipline, that's unstoppable. That's the formula for turning ideas into achievements, for transforming potential into results. So the question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Not just once, not just when it's easy, but every day. Because discipline is the price of success. And the ones who are willing to pay that price are the ones who will cross the bridge from dreaming about it to living it. Nobody hands out success. It isn't something you receive just because you want it, and it certainly isn't something you're entitled to. Success must be earned. It comes through effort, persistence, and a willingness to do what most people won't. Too many people sit around waiting for the perfect opportunity, hoping someone will recognize their potential, thinking that if they just stay in the game long enough, success will magically appear. But life doesn't work that way. The people who achieve don't sit around waiting. They work, they take risks. They invest time in themselves. They do the hard things, the uncomfortable things, the things that don't always bring immediate results, but build a foundation for long-term success. If you look at anyone who has built something worthwhile, whether it's a business, a career, financial freedom, or a strong family, you'll find a pattern. Sacrifice, discipline, and consistency. They stayed late when others clocked out. They read and learned when others watched television. They practiced when no one was watching. They put in the effort day after day, even when it felt like nothing was happening. And here's the truth. Success doesn't come to those who try for a little while and then quit when it gets tough. It comes to those who commit, who keep going despite the obstacles, who refuse to let excuses dictate their future. It's easy to envy someone who's achieved success. It's easy to look at the results and wish you had the same. But what you don't see are the early mornings, the late nights, the failures, the doubts, the sacrifices, and the moments when giving up seemed like the easiest option. So if you want success, don't wait for it, earn it. Earn it through effort, earn it through discipline, earn it by doing the things most people aren't willing to do. Because when you earn success, no one can take it away from you. It becomes part of who you are. And that's the kind of success that lasts. Most people wait. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect plan. They tell themselves, I'll start when I have more money, when I have more knowledge, when I have more confidence. But here's the truth. You'll never feel fully ready. And if you wait until you do, you'll be waiting forever. Success doesn't come from standing on the sidelines, analyzing, planning, and hoping everything falls into place. It comes from stepping into the unknown, taking action even when you're unsure, and figuring things out along the way. No one ever started with all the answers. No one ever had every step mapped out before they began. They just started. Think about it. How do you gain experience? By doing. How do you build confidence? By trying. How do you develop skills? By practicing. And how do you move forward? By taking the first step, even when it's uncomfortable. Some people spend years preparing, but preparation without action leads to nothing. Others dive in, make mistakes, learn quickly, and adjust. And in the end, those who start, even when they feel unprepared, go further than those who wait for the perfect moment. The best time to begin was yesterday. The next best time is today. Will it be perfect? No. Will you make mistakes? Absolutely. But mistakes are lessons, and lessons lead to growth. And the faster you start, the faster you learn, and the faster you grow. So don't wait for confidence, build it. Don't wait for clarity, find it through action. Don't wait for permission, you don't need it. The only way to get ready is to start. And once you do, you'll realize you are more capable than you ever thought. In life, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Your results are not determined by luck, circumstances, or even talent alone. They are a direct reflection of your effort, your discipline, and the choices you make every single day. If you put in half the effort, you'll get half the results. If you take shortcuts, you'll see short-term progress, but nothing lasting. But if you show up consistently, push yourself beyond your comfort zone, and give your best effort, not just once in a while, but daily, you'll see the kind of results that others admire, but few are willing to earn. Look at any area of life, your health, your finances, your career, your relationships. They all tell a story of the effort you've put in. If you neglect your body, it will show. If you manage your money poorly, your bank account will reflect it. If you don't invest time in your personal growth, you'll stay stuck. On the other hand, when you commit to discipline, hard work, and persistence, your results will begin to change. The problem is too many people want the reward without the work. They want success without sacrifice, growth without struggle, and achievement without effort. But that's not how it works. Every great success story is built on effort. The extra mile, the late nights, the early mornings, and the unwavering determination to keep going even when progress is slow. So, if you're not happy with where you are, don't blame the economy, don't blame your upbringing, and don't blame circumstances. Look at your effort, because effort is something you control. And when you increase it, when you raise your standards, push a little harder, and refuse to settle, you'll find that your results will start to reflect that change. You have the power to shape your future. The question is, are you willing to put in the effort to match the results you desire? The world doesn't reward the thinkers, the wishers, or the planners. It rewards the doers. It rewards the ones who step up, take risks, and move forward even when they don't have all the answers. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you never act on them, they mean nothing. You can have big dreams, but if you don't put in the effort to bring them to life, they stay just that, dreams. The people who get ahead, who create wealth, who build something meaningful, are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who take action when others hesitate. Opportunities don't wait for perfect timing. They don't sit around waiting for you to feel ready. They appear, and they go to the person who has the courage to step forward and do something. Look around. The most successful people in any field are not the ones who spent years overanalyzing. They are the ones who took a step, made mistakes, learned from them, adjusted, and kept going. While others were making excuses, they were taking action. While others were waiting for the perfect moment, they were out there creating momentum. Success doesn't favor the passive, it favors the bold. It favors the ones who make decisions, take risks, and refuse to sit on the sidelines. because action leads to progress, and progress leads to results. So the question is, are you going to be an observer or are you going to be a participant? The world belongs to those who step up, take action, and make things happen. And the moment you decide to be one of them, everything starts to change. Nobody is coming to do it for you. If you want something to change, if you want to achieve something greater, it starts with you. You have to get up, take charge, and make it happen. Because waiting won't get you there, hoping won't get you there, and excuses certainly won't get you there. Too many people spend their lives in a state of hesitation. They talk about what they could do, what they should do, what they plan to do, but they never actually do it. They wait for the right circumstances, the right motivation, the right opportunity. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. You create it. You create it by deciding right now that you're going to take control of your life instead of letting life control you. It starts with getting up, not just physically, but mentally. Getting up from self-doubt, from procrastination, from the endless cycle of one day. Getting up and deciding that today is the day you stop waiting and start moving. Then you take charge. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop making excuses. You stop looking outside for solutions and start looking within. Because at the end of the day, no one else is responsible for your success. You are. And finally, you make it happen, not by wishing, not by hoping, but by doing, by taking one step and then another until your momentum is unstoppable. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Because action creates results, and results create success. So if there's something you want, a goal, a dream, a better life, the time to move is now. Get up, take charge, make it happen, because if you don't, who will? Nothing changes until you do. If you want a better life, a stronger body, a more successful career, or more financial freedom, it won't happen by accident. It won't happen by wishing, hoping, or waiting for the right time. You have to get up, take charge, and make it happen. Too many people go through life reacting instead of creating. They let circumstances dictate their future. They let fear hold them back. They wait for motivation to strike, not realizing that motivation follows action, not the other way around. The most successful people in the world weren't handed success. They didn't sit around waiting for permission. They made a decision, took control, and moved forward, whether they felt ready or not. Getting up means refusing to stay where you are. It means shaking off procrastination, self-doubt, and the endless cycle of excuses. Because every excuse you make is just another chain keeping you from what you want. The moment you stand up and say, enough is the moment your life begins to change. Taking charge means owning your results. No more blaming the economy, your upbringing, or the people around you. No one else is responsible for your success. You are. And that's a powerful thing, because if you are responsible, that means you also have the power to change it. Making it happen means doing the work. Not just talking about it, not just thinking about it, not waiting until you feel ready. You take action, you move forward, you keep going even when it's hard, even when you don't see immediate results, because that's what separates those who succeed from those who just dream. So if you want more out of life, decide today that you're done waiting. Get up, take charge, make it happen, because the life you want isn't going to come knocking on your door. You have to go out and build it.